Coming up on Weber State News, we look at how the starting quarterback of the red-hot Wildcats has had to go through much more than the happenings on the gridiron.
Thanksgiving can be a challenging time for out-of-state students. If they are not traveling home, then what are they doing for Turkey Day?
The Weber State debate team has been making headlines for the right reasons. What did they discuss in a group setting last week?
For Jake Constantine, it has been a season of growth and learning. Now, Weber State's starting quarterback is persevering through the events that took place off the football field.
Constantine went through the unthinkable in a span of less than 24 hours on November 8th. His longtime friend and teammate Cody Kaufman was one of 12 victims killed in the Thousand Oaks shooting in California. Later that same day, he learned his hometown of Camarillo was bursting into flames.
Awful thing that happened back at home with the mass shooting, and then honestly just honoring him with everyday hard work and just grinding and playing for him and just doing everything I can.
Weber State quarterbacks coach Kelly Bills is impressed with the way Constantine has carried himself in spite of the tragedies.
I think he's done well. I think it's a tribute to our coaching staff and our players, just our team unity. We're a really tight bunch, and he had the support of our quarterback group. He had the support of myself and the coaches as well. And obviously he had some adversity last week, but I thought he battled through it. There were some down days, but he worked through it, and I felt like he came out pretty good.
The quarterback is trying to stay focused as his Wildcats prepare for the playoffs.
I'm blessed and honored to be healthy right now, and grateful for it. And I think just trying to stay healthy throughout the playoffs and throughout this next game, just to help our team get a championship ring and hopefully a national championship.
For Weber State News, this is Joe Trop from Stewart Stadium.
Matika Wilbur, one of the nation's leading photographers, visited Weber State University to talk about her most recent creation, Project 562. In this project, Matika traveled, visited, and photographed over 300 tribal nations to change the way we view Native Americans.
And I remember we would have these lodges with the other teachers, mostly women, my sisters. They taught me everything. And I remember I would be in those lodges when we'd be begging the Creator to help us. What are we doing wrong? What should we be doing differently? Help us. Take pity on us.
By the end of the presentation, the crowd had experienced emotions of deep heartache for the trials the Native Americans have faced to the pure joy and complete brought by tribal dance lessons from Matika herself.
Over in the residence halls, one RA came up with a creative avenue for helping students get through the end of the semester. On November 13th, resident advisor Cole Battleson helped build a balloon dinosaur event for his residents. The students were given balloons, paper, and googly eyes to make their dinosaurs. Everyone who lives at the dorms was invited to participate.
You always run the risk of people not coming. We try to get as many people as we can, but a lot of people are too busy and may not think building a dinosaur is very fun.
The event also included drinks and snacks, while the students were allowed to keep their dinosaurs. More events are held every week in University and Wildcat Village.
Thanksgiving is just around the corner. What are some of your plans for the upcoming holidays? Surrounded by family? That may be the case for you, but for other Weber State students, home may be a little too far.
Thanksgiving, a time when people get together with family and friends who share time together discussing what they are thankful for and reminiscing on the memories. However, some students don't get to go home for the holidays like most of us.
It used to be way harder than now, but since I got married, I pretty much just spend a lot of time with my husband's part of the family, and then my family just comes here twice a year.
Haley Hart, a junior at Weber State, explains how hard it is for her as a single parent when the holidays roll in. As an academic scholar, she is here to accomplish one thing, and that is to get a degree.
Being away from family can be really hard sometimes, but I am out here to get a degree, so I just stay focused on my goals, and I FaceTime my family every day, and that makes it a lot easier.
Bumpers and Hart both expressed how difficult it is for them to stay back during Thanksgiving. They understand the importance of an education and maintaining a full job is crucial in today's society. I'm Kayla Wynn with Weber State News.
The grand opening of the new Weber State Community Education Center took place last week. John Kiefer was on the scene and met with Director Luis Lopez to learn more.
In an effort to help those in the Ogden community in their desire for higher education, Weber State recently held a grand opening of the new Community Education Center.
Tonight, Weber State University takes another big leap to strengthen the bonds between university and community.
Weber State is committed. We have people on the ground in this building. We have ESL programs, we have venture programs, we've got navigators helping folks get into school, we've got all kinds of programming, including community education projects, we've got career and technical education projects happening here, and it matters only if you members of our community show up and take advantage of it.
In this building, we're going to have classes for members of the community. We have an emphasis in helping underserved, non-traditional members of the community. What I'm most excited about is the fact that we will be impacting people's lives, not only for education purposes. My goal is always to build relationships with people so that then they can trust us, and then they can think about advancing their lives through the power of education.
If you or someone you know is interested in continuing their education, you can come to the center directly on 26 Monroe, or the website will be up and running in a few weeks to where you can register there. From Weber State News, I'm John Kiefer.
Earlier this year, the physics department earned a grant and was able to purchase a new device that can run between $20,000 to $100,000, claiming the university's many different departments would find a use for it. We have Ryan on the story. Ryan?
On November 14th, Weber State student James Herford Reynolds held a seminar for students and fellow professors alike, discussing the new grant allowing the College of Science to share their new handheld X-ray fluorescence device.
So as you can see, it's most of this detector, most of this image is just a barrel of liquid nitrogen. The detector is only about this big. It's pretty small.
What Herford Reynolds is describing here is the old method for detecting heavy metals using X-rays, submerging the object entirely in liquid nitrogen in a lab. He says the new device is more portable and a lot safer for use beyond rocks like human tissue and coffee mugs. One of the attendees was Dr. Elizabeth Sandquist. Her favorite part of the seminar was learning just how the climate and history of the environment could be learned using XRF
and I didn't even know that they were going to be talking about this really cool new device, but I've heard about its really great applications in the field, being able to just point it at the surface and be able to determine what elements it composes. I used to do heavy metal research, and so I could definitely see how it would be a really useful tool.
For Weber State News, I'm Ryan Marion. Back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. What departments are primarily going to be using the device?
Mostly it's going to be the physics department, health science department, and the brand new earth science and environment department. Whether you're an artist with a brush or a keyboard, Weber State University's computer science department wants students to know they belong. The latest in the Coding and Creativity series focused on the collaboration between the more artistically inclined and the coders of the future. For more on this story, we go to Weber State News correspondent Cameron Clifford.
WSU students had the opportunity from November 8th to 10th to learn from computer science professors Dr. Richard Fry and Kim Murphy and assistant professor of graphic design Micah Bauer. This session focused on coding fundamentals, including working with different types of coding, basic scripting techniques, and learning how to ensure designs are responsive across multiple devices. Dr. Fry said they have additional events planned into 2019 exploring other technological endeavors.
We see a lot of collaboration between the arts and the science, and this is just one of the camps that we're having. We're having another one later on in the year on gaming, so they'll actually learn to do video games together, and then we have another one on building Raspberry Pis.
Murphy said her main goal for the coding bootcamp was to make computer science more accessible.
I'm hoping that the students will not be afraid of coding. I want them to say, hey, this is not hard, this is something that I can do.
Fry also stressed the importance of students learning to collaborate in the workplace.
You actually have to work together. The art students can't build the websites, so they can design them, make them look pretty, but typically can't code, and just the opposite for the computer science students.
Ultimately, these boot camps are for students, and according to Murphy, the value of a CS degree is universal marketability.
Once you leave Weber State with a computer science degree, you can go anywhere and have a job. And that is amazing, to just be highly sought after.
Check out the Weber State Computer Science website for more information on the virtual reality coding session, which begins on January 24th. For Weber State News, I'm Cameron Gifford.
Working with virtual reality would be a really cool opportunity. I'm told you can create a 3D object and use a VR headset to interact with it.
Next, we focus on how Weber State's debate team is looking to learn and foster learning through conversation and public debate. Ryan Walsh, the Weber State debate team, hosted iDebate from Rwanda last Friday in Elizabeth Hall to discuss human rights in Rwanda genocide.
I wanted to bring people in who have first, second-hand, and everyday experience with the consequences of genocide. Too often I think we try to learn about people through textbooks and through the internet, and we forego the opportunity of face-to-face engagement.
The event featured a great turnout of both students and community members, and the debate team will look to hold similar events to converse and verbally compete on similar topics in the future.
Our community has been saddened by the loss of the North Ogden mayor. His legacy was remembered this last weekend at Weber State University.
Major Brent Taylor, a member of the Utah National Guard, also the mayor of North Ogden, was killed while deployed in Afghanistan. At just 39 years old, he leaves behind a wife and 7 kids. Krispy Kreme hosted a fundraiser night to show support for the family.
We've been following this story on the news, and it's so tragic, and so we just decided, we're right in the community, how can we help, how can we give back, and so we decided to go this event.
Services for Major Brent Taylor were held at Weber State University's D Event Center on Saturday. Thousands, including many local, state, national, and military officials, were in attendance. Community members, American flags, and balloons lined the funeral procession route to the cemetery. Major Brent Taylor was laid to rest with full military honors at the Ben Lomond Cemetery in North Ogden. Friends and family are mourning his loss. However, they know that his legacy will live on by the example that he set for the members of his community.
For the first time in Weber State school history, your Wildcat football team is number 2 in the nation. After a dominant performance in the last game against Idaho State, the Wildcats earned a bye in the first round and home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
To go back-to-back 9-2 seasons and back-to-back conference championships, this is the first time it's happened in the Big Sky in years now, so this is a big deal for us.
On December 1st, the Wildcats will face the winner of Stony Brook and Southeast Missouri, and despite having a top 2 seed and home field advantage, because they have playoff pedigree, Weber State knows that they can't underestimate any opponent.
The key right now is just taking one game at a time. You overlook anybody at this stage and you're going to get in trouble, because everybody, all 24 teams can play, and this is a big deal now, and every game gets bigger and bigger.
Weber State will get an extra week to rest up, and fans, family, and friends get an extra week to plan their trip to Stewart Stadium on December 1st. The atmosphere will be electric as our Wildcats remain on the road to a national championship.
Absolutely. We need as many people in that stadium as we can get. Stewart Stadium needs to be packed. We need that atmosphere. Our players thrive on it. And quite frankly, why would you miss this? This is an opportunity that Weber State fans have never had yet, where we are, by the first week, host a second round playoff. This has never happened here, so why wouldn't they want to come out and join this? And it's going to be an awesome atmosphere.
Well, I hope everyone comes out and supports our Wildcats. I don't know about you, but I'll definitely be there. Can't wait. During their home opener on November 9th, the men's basketball team extinguished the Bethesda Flames 123-53. The 70-point win is the second largest margin of victory in school history.
The 123-point game was the third most points scored in school history. Although at times games like these may seem meaningless, head coach Randy Ray explained its significance.
We use these games is to get a lot of guys a lot of minutes. Hopefully get some guys, maybe more of our younger guys, but get them some confidence. get us, playing a little bit better basketball offensively and moving the ball and trying to play 40 minutes of defense.
The Cats ended with 7 players in double figures, with 12 of 13 players that entered the game scored. The team's leading scorer was Cody John with 17. Ray is looking to increase the pace of the team.
I mean, you can see tonight how fast we got the ball at the court. And our guys, sometimes when you play a fast tempo like we're trying to play, sometimes your team will want to take quick bad shots because they just think fast, fast, fast. What we're trying to do is get them to play really fast. If something's available, we're going to take it and attack. But if not, now we've got to be patient and move the ball.
The team just finished the Junkanoo Jam in the Bahamas, going 2-1 in the tournament. The Cats beat San Jose State 85-77 and then beat Central Michigan 78-76 with a thrilling buzzer-beater three-point shot by freshman Israel Barnes.
The Cats lost close in the third and final game of the tournament, 68-67, to CSU Bakersfield. The team travels back home to play next Tuesday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Be sure to put the Saturday, December 1st game on your calendar, as the Wildcats will take on BYU at home.
There you have it, an exciting Wildcat football game to look forward to. This is Madeline Thorpe with Weber State News. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.